So once upon a time in 2018, the Supreme Court struck down a law that said the federal government was interfering with the states' rights to govern as they please. Now, there are Indian reservations, or should I say Native American reservations, all over the place with casinos that had gambling. But the states also said we should be able to do that. But there was a 1992 federal law that was really designed to put the federal government in control of gambling decisions for the states, to which the federal government with the Supreme Court said, hang on a second. The reason there was once an unlimited speed limit on certain parts of Montana, there literally was a strip of highway, very famous in Montana, that had no speed limit apparently. Like 85, 90, I think if you're in a car that shouldn't be doing that, you can get pulled over. But by and large, you could go 85, 90 miles an hour across Montana, this one strip. Montana's very big, very lonely, and they would let you do it. That's Montana's decision. Then you get down to somewhere like Delaware, where everything is 65 miles an hour, that's it. Then you get some places like Texas, where you've got toll roads that had a 75 mile an hour on this toll road, 80 mile an hour. No. Why am I bringing those up? Delaware, Texas, Montana, their roads, their rules, their highway patrol, their laws. They could do that. So the Supreme Court said, why is the federal government telling the states what they can and can't do on something that's a local decision? And so it went to the Supreme Court that said the federal government cannot regulate states for gambling. The states will regulate gambling in each of their states as they see fit, just as they do speed limits and many other laws, and have income tax or no income tax like there is in Texas and in Florida. Thank God, praise God. Thank you very much. No income tax there. And I've enjoyed both of those states. So listen to this. Judge Samuel Alito Jr. said, it is as if federal officers were installed in state legislative chambers, armed with the authority to stop legislators from voting on offending proposals involving gambling. A more direct affront to state sovereignty is not easy to imagine. Overturn it. And so it got overturned. And what that allowed was all the states to suddenly start making their own rules on gambling. It had far-reaching effect because all the sports were like, whoa, 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 whoa. So now they may be voting on gambling on baseball in these states, but not those states. State decision, state decision. So let's go check this out. We have a graphic here, and look what happened. Remember what I told you? 2018. Well, this is the revenue. This is the cut. This is the gambling revenue here, is not what you and I spend. That's called the wager. Consumer wager is a big stack of money. This is the fees and the revenue that all of the legal gambling establishments make. And this comes from our good friends at the American Gaming Association. Thank you very much for allowing us to use your graphic. So the U.S. Supreme Court strikes down right there in a little tan box in May of 18. 2019, about $1 billion for gambling. 2020, $1.5 billion. But in 2020, the reason it is so much smaller than 2021, what happened in 2020? COVID. And was there March Madness? No. Lockdown, no March Madness. So that $1.9 billion in 2019, that should have been $2-3 billion in 2020, but there was no March Madness to bet on, so it was $1.5 billion. That's why in 2021, the first year you had March Madness. Now remember, this is March Madness, this is Super Bowl, and those are the two biggest pots that Americans put the wager in. But this is the revenue collected by the legal sports betting in the U.S. And there it is. Revenue to gaming, $4.3 billion in 2021. Revenue to gaming, $7.5 billion in 2022. Isn't that huge? And check this out. That's expected to be 2023. It was $11 billion. They're counting it. Right now they say it's 10.92. But when the count and the audit is done, they say it's going to be right around $11 billion. And check this out. Let's talk about the wager. In 2023, 50 million Americans bet legally $16 billion on the Super Bowl in 23. The next year, 67.8 million of us knuckleheads bet $23 billion on the Super Bowl. Now remember, those two numbers I just gave you, 16 billion that we all bet, that's our wager. That's called consumer wagers, or players wager that we put on that. Isn't that amazing? So this is basically a real quick opening explanation of what happened starting 2018, and here it was, New York Times covering it, as well as many other publications did, about what was happening. Now, let's go into March Madness. Now, the stage is set. You can see, boop, 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 boop. Here we go. Look at all the money that the casinos, the legal bookies, the onlines, DraftKings, FanDuel, all the onlines, it's all legal in particular states. So on a state-by-state basis, and I've got a map I'm going to show you where it is legal in the United States, along with a dive into March Madness. So let me take my vault as we unlock your brain, throw your friends. Hey, you know what's up with all the gambling? Hey man, Supreme Court 2018 made a big change. Now state by state, they can make their own laws. I got a black cherry right here. Fantastic. As I like to say, no sugar, no caffeine, but if you're clever, just the right amount of Tito's.